For the last 3 months, I have been talking religiously with Whiz Kids. And we have been working on things for next year and for the future. I will say that things are very, very good and the future is very, very good. We are changing the way we do things in order to make the things that are planned in the future work. All right. So the first thing that I want to say is that we are streamlining and we are changing the way our kits are, the kits pricing. We will not be doing money anymore. Okay, that's maybe the negative thing, the bad thing. Okay, I've told you there's good coming now. Okay, so we're not going to be doing money anymore. We're not going to be doing redemption anymore. Redemption ends this weekend. Okay, as soon as this week is over, the kits will be changing. What goes in the kits will slowly be changing. We are now sponsored by Wizkids. That is what is right now. Again, what I knows downstream, if everything goes right, should be even more. Okay? That means that we're going to start having, the plan is that we're working the details out almost on a daily basis, convention exclusives in the kits. Okay? The plan is to have convention exclusives on the lowest level, which would be Maps. Okay, that's what we want to do. Streamlining when I told you what we were going to be doing. There's no more super queues. There's no more mega super queues. Instead, we have Maps. The next level up will be qualifiers. Qualifiers will be taking the place of them, where it's fewer type events. Qualifiers are comparable to what a super queue was, probably more than what a super queue was. Okay, and then your next step up, we're placing states at a higher level. Then we're placing regionals at a next higher level. Then there's nationals, which the nationals will be WizKids nationals, and there will be worlds. Now, so what are we doing with the cup? The cup next year will be a world qualifier. It will be after nationals. It will be a world qualifier, possibly more. Just right as the plan is right now, we would do the same thing that we did last year, or this year rather. We would run the same events the same way that we did this year. The difference would be that there's a possibility that the event types that we run could change. That's the way I would like to say that. It's also a possibility we can keep it exactly the same. Points will be changing. The points that are in Maps will be changing. The points that are in qualifiers will be changing. They will actually be more. The biggest purpose here is we, WizKids, myself, I think that everybody knows what the problem is with HeroClix right now, and that is we do not have enough local play. Competitive play is fine. Sales are fantastic. The game is in a good state right now, but we need week-to-week play. That's why we're doing Maps with convention exclusives. That's why there's going to be more emphasis put on a local level, and you can earn points, more points in a Map. It gets better. Points earned in ROC tournaments will qualify for WizKids Worlds and WizKids Nationals. It will be a dual point system. There's a maximum amount of points now that a player can have. That would be 300. It takes 200 points to be in Worlds. It takes 100 points to be, what did I say, 200 or 300? It takes 200 to be in Worlds. It takes 100 points to be in Nationals. What that means is you accumulate points through the year. They stay with you forever. What we're trying to target is the guy that can't make it this year, the guy that doesn't have the money to go this year, the guy that plays in the store and slowly gets points week in and week out, or maybe he has gaps, but he's slowly getting points. And his dream is to go to and play in Worlds. That guy can go this year if he's got a points, or 5 years from now if he gets enough points. His points stay with him. Okay, that's for Worlds. That's for Nationals. Now, what you can do next year, I haven't worked the details out on the Cup, but the World Qualifier, because the point systems are changing. But let's say hypothetically that we did the same thing we did this year. We said it's 100 points to be in semifinals and 200 points to be in finals. Okay, hypothetically, let's say that we did that. Those points will not be subtracted from your WKO points. So you can go to both. So if it takes 200 points to come here, you take the 200 points, you come here. If you still have 200 points left over, you can go to Worlds. Now, when I say a World Qualifier, what I mean by that is that if you come and you participate here and you win it, you get 200 points. How many points do you need to go to Worlds? 200. That's what that means. If you go and play in Nationals, those points will be subtracted. Let's say hypothetically again, you have 300 points and you use 100 points to go to Nationals. You still have 200 points left over. You can go to Worlds. You also, as soon as you use those 100 points, you can start accumulating more points. So when you max out, if you use your points to go to somewhere, you can then start accumulating points again. Okay? They keep rolling over. That's the purpose is to get everything that we're doing, that we're all attached, we're always earning points, and it's all targeted towards Nationals, all targeted towards Worlds, all targeted towards the World Qualifier. The intention is that we will also try to run a similar type event after Worlds, after Nationals on the West Coast and the East Coast. This would be the East Coast. Okay, we don't want to forget about the West Coast. We want to have another type of event that I'm running over here, over there. Okay, that may or may not happen this year, but it will happen. I say this year, I guess I should say next year. Seasonal, not figuratively the years, I guess is where I'm at. Okay, we will have now on the winner maps. The winner maps, they're going to stay at $50. Okay, but you're going to have convention exclusives in there. You're going to get points that you can earn to go to the World Championship as well as to what ROC has. They also can be any format. If you want to run a sealed, run a sealed. If you want to run some wanky, we don't care. You can run whatever format that you want to run for the smaller events. When you step up to a qualifier, you now follow into our format that we choose for that time period. Okay? So that's going to remain the same. I need to go back because the things over the last 3 months have changed, and a lot has changed from 2 weeks ago to a week ago to literally 2 days ago. But everything is on target to where I think that we're going. It's just, and there's good reason why why we're doing the things that we're doing. I believe the cost on a qualifier will be $300 to a store. Okay, they will include convention exclusives and everything that you normally get in a ROC kit. Now, ROC Maps will be WizKids legal. Don't know. I will have to answer that question later, but I know there is an announcement. There's an announcement that it's very brief that will be coming out Monday. Without a lot, I'm giving you a lot more details than what the announcement will be, but it will say it will talk about the ROC Maps being legal from WizKids. It will not give you a specified date. I will get back with you and we will announce that. But I cannot guarantee that it will be for Worlds this year. I would like to say that next year, January, that the ROC Maps. I plan on doing this anyways. We will be restricting ROC Maps to 2 years. I think everybody knew that was going to be coming. At the end of this year, what we call modern age legal will be 2 years. I also want to say that ROC Maps are under that, even though they're modern age legal, they still will fall under the discretion of WizKids and us as to whether they go onto that modern age list. So there may be maps that we've made in the last 2 years that may not make that list. So keep that in mind. But I will say that what you now have, prize maps are very valuable. So you guys got to have an edge up on that. So keep that in mind. And that means that future maps are going to be very valuable. That's a big thing to me. Okay. We will be running 2 states next year. 2 state championships. We will be running a sealed state championship, and we will be running a constructed state championship. I will give details on that, on cost and times at a later date, but we will be running 2. We had planned. Now the other thing is that I've always had a problem. It's always been a little bit of a problem in knowing what WizKids is doing and trying to schedule around them. That's not a problem anymore. Not a problem at all. We'll be able to schedule things when and how they make sense. Even set releases. We will know when and where to go and how to go and everything else to make everything to make everyone make the events the best that they possibly can. Okay. Now, if you guys want to help, where I would like you guys to help the most is on the local level and getting involvement in the stores, getting the venues to buy into this plan, getting players back into it. It's a long time coming. I would say this to Patrick and pointed this out in the conversation that we had earlier today. In the fact that there's a lot of other programs, and we'll just name the name Magic, that has involvement on the store level, that you earn things, and that's what we're targeting. We're trying to go to that when you play, that you have a reason to play, and something happens when you play. Even if you're playing casually, a casual tournament can be a ROC tournament, and you can get points, and you can qualify for Worlds, and that's what we want to bring back. We want to make local play more. I've heard countless venues talk about how they don't have players in the local stores anymore, that there's not enough draw. Well, if you have a sealed event, people show up. If you have a big competitive event, people show up. But if you have a yoky-doke regular tournament, people don't show up. Everybody knows that. Everybody can testify to that. And what we want to do is we want to increase that, and we want to bring more people in. For the judge program will remain in place. It's going to be a little bit different. The tier program will remain in place. The tier program will change. The points will change. The points will change because of what we're introducing. judges should get a lot more points because we should be running a lot more tournaments. That's the whole idea behind that. So that's still there, but it will be changing. The same things that we have in place, we plan on adding convention exclusives into the judge program that we didn't have before. We plan, that's providing that we can work it out with WizKids. But that's what I want to do. Earning enough to play in the Cup or in the Worlds can happen. Okay, by judging, we want to reward judges. We want to encourage judges to play. Which brings me into this. Another major change that I will be doing, players' points. Right now, you have to have a ROC account to get your points. That's not required anymore for players. We will be every event that we run, I will be tracking it on Win, and when we run it on Win, I will apply your points, and I will keep it on a separate spreadsheet rather than the account at ROC. Judges, however, so I do not need event reports anymore. Effective after this year, I do not need after this event, I do not need event reports. I will go every week. I will see everything that's scheduled, and I will find them. Now, how am I going to do that? I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do that. There's some flaws. There's some flaws in our system that we've recognized last year that we're fixing. For example, and Jamie can testify to this. Anybody who's bought a kit can testify to this. When you buy a kit, you pay for it on ROC in the ROC website. After the kit is bought, we get an email and it tells us that you bought a kit. We don't, from that email, unless you've already talked to me, I have no idea. My wife who does the kits has no idea when your event is. Okay, we will be putting something in place to where you buy your kits that you have to put in the information. So we will have the information. We will then take that information and put it on a different kind of system than what we had before, not a spreadsheet, more of a calendar. I'm not sure which one we're going to be using, but we will have a calendar and we'll have a proximity search to where you can find events and you can see everything that's upcoming. And from that, I can look at every week, everything that's going on, go to the Win and pull the information that I need. So I don't need reports anymore. However, the Win has flaws, as we all know. The two flaws that bother me the most about Win, I guess I would say three. There's three flaws that bother me. You guys may have more than me. I actually talked to the person that wrote the Win through talking with Whiz Kids, and I complained. One of these fixes will be coming about soon, I believe. There's a timeout issue, and the timeout just it drives us nuts. And they did that on purpose. They did it on purpose to protect the player, but they forgot about the event organizer. And so it's there to time out so that the player's information is up on the screen that nobody can get into it and see it and do whatever with it. Great. So I've asked them to extend that to an hour. If we have an hour timeout, that's more than adequate for us to go in there and not have to keep reloading when we forget and we get busy. Because I do it all the time. We do it here. I've literally given Dan Powell 1 point in the tournament and saved it, and then went back and put it back the way it was and saved it again just so I don't time out. And it shouldn't be that way. So that's going to be fixed. The other thing is that when you look at results, I have to go and look literally at each match at the very end to see who actually placed where, because it doesn't account for single elimination. Sometimes it will place somebody with a better record that got eliminated in single elimination higher than somebody that's not. So you have to go back and you have to decipher what the results are. So that's a little bit more detailed, but that's something else that I would like to get fixed. The third thing is I don't know who the judges are. I can pull a report, but it doesn't tell me who the judges are. Therefore, because of that fact, if you want your judge points, you have to report the event to me and you have to report it to me within a week. If you do not report it to me within a week, you don't get your judges points. Now, I don't need the event report. I just need you to send in and say, I and this guy or whoever is the judge of this event, and attach me a link to the event. I'm not even really looking at the event. I'm just verifying that you were the judge. And that's it. Now, what's going to happen is all of your guys' points that you have now in the ROC account are going to be converted over, and you now have points towards the World Championship. Not this year, next year. Okay? So you now have points for Nationals and for Worlds next year. Okay? Judges, I will be pulling all your points out, and I will be putting them onto another system. Judges now will go in, their points will now go into the ROC system. So if you're a judge, you have to have a ROC account. You have to and you have to report your events to get your points. So if you report your events in a timely basis within a week, then I will put your points into the ROC system, and you can always look and see how many judges points you got. So makes much more sense, doesn't it? Okay. So we'll be doing that. Furthermore, ROC judges. Now, you do not have to be a ROC judge to judge a ROC event. Don't have to be certified. Not required. You're still going to get points. We're still going to send you prizing off the tier. Not required. We do give you a few more points if you pass the test and you become a ROC judge. You now have to pass a background check to be a certified judge. Okay? So you don't have to pass a background check. That's on the venue. The venue wants to take Jamie as a judge and don't want anything. Don't want to do anything. That's up to them. But to be a certified ROC judge, you've got to pass a background check plus the test. Okay? ROC Online will continue. The same prizes that are going to be in the regular offline tournaments will be in the online. The same point system going towards Worlds and Nationals will be ROC Online. Many of you noticed we got new, I don't know if you've got any, but we've got new objects. We've got 8 of them. I'm going to start, I don't know if I'm going to do it every month or every 2 months or whatever, but I'm going to remove one object and add an object constantly. Always new stuff. So I might even do 2 at a time, but I'm going to start a process to where we're changing that constantly. So we don't just keep seeing the same thing over and over and over again. So there's going to be rotate 2 in, rotate 2 out, rotate, and I might even do more than that, but there's going to be a rotation that comes. Well, they go away anyway. Unicorns go away after the cup. I mean, that was it. We've got 8 new ones, but after the cup, at some point I'm going to start rotating them. Okay. If you guys have not heard about this, I'm now telling you this. We have a map club. Our map club will begin in January with certainty. You can pay for it, and I'll have it up pretty soon. You can pay for it and join it before then. The map club is our monthly map club. You can join that club, and the maps that are received, the monthly maps that we send out, if you join that club, we're going to call it a VIG club, very important gamer. Those maps that you purchase there, they're still $30. If you purchase them, you'll get them 2 weeks early. You'll get a newsletter that tells you a little bit about the map from the map maker, some information, so on and so forth. Also, there's a plan that we have in place. If you pay for 6 months in advance, you will be able to buy ROC overstock items as they come along. You'll have the first chance to buy things that nobody else has seen or can get their hands on. When we have over, those could be prize maps. So you'll have the first opportunity to do that. We will start printing 2 times a year a variant map. Okay, what is a variant map? A variant map. Let's take the hedge map that we got out. Which, by the way, if you guys have not bought a hedge map yet, you should. If you, we have them here, and they're very meta. All right, so the hedge map is green. So what if we put snow on it? Okay. What if we took something, we put it on an alternate earth? Everything's the same. The walls are still where they are, but maybe we make the wall something else, or we make the building look something different, or we take it to an alternate dimension. Anything along those lines. Maybe it goes from nighttime to daytime. We will make variant maps of. So if you're in the map club and you pay 6 months in advance, you can buy those variant maps at half price, $15. Okay. If you are in the map club and you pay a year in advance, I'll give you 2 variant maps free each year. Those maps all these maps will come, and they'll be stamped with our logo in the bottom, and they'll say VIG on it.
Had a big announcement about WizKids sponsoring ROC on Friday night, and there were a couple things that we wanted to get a little bit further in, and starting with the use of the win, the win system, and how that's going to change and evolve now that the ROC and the WizKids are partnering up.
Well, with the win system, there's obviously some flaws in it. I've talked to WizKids about that. ROC tournaments have to be run on win, and that will stay in place.
Okay.
And as far as tournament reporting, that's where we get our information from.
Okay.
There's things there that are flawed that make tournament reporting a little bit more difficult. We're working on those. I actually would like to get the information directly plugged up without me having to look into look at the data, and
okay.
We'll get there. It's not there yet, but I also would like. I'm hoping that we can get some templates built.
Okay.
So that when you click the hero clicks, that you'll see the template and it will pop up ROC.
Oh, excellent. So right, we've been talking about increased store participation on the local and weekly level, making Winamaps more accessible with better pricing, and then how that will lead to a sort of development or evolution of store participation levels. Awesome.
Right. The thought process. I mean, there's a lot more going on than I can totally speak about.
Okay.
But I know that where I want to go, and I know where WizKids wants to go, and my goal is to pick up the level of play. Not really the level of play, but I want to get more play. I speak to a lot of venues, especially when I'm searching for venues for state, for events, and stuff like that. And then because I'm in the head of ROC, when I go places like the Alliance Show, I have venues walk up to me and they talk HeroClix naturally. And I also read a little bit on Realms this morning, and I want to address some of the things that I heard. Folks that are thinking that maybe ROC is going to kill the local level need to wake up. The local level is already dying. That's the problem. That's what we're trying to cure. Sure, we have sealed events and they're great. Yes, we have WKOs and we have ROCs and they draw people in. But a week in and week out, it's not the way that it was when I was playing every week at a venue 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It's not the same. We used to, when I first started playing, I came in every week, and the same group of guys would be there. We'd be 8, sometimes 20 strong, but we played every week. And what I'm hearing is that from venues that players aren't coming. One of the things that WizKids asked me to do when I first started talking to them is how to help stores be successful. Sure. They wanted me to speak to stores and tell them what we were doing and show them how to do those. And there's a ton of ideas that I have and things that we do differently than everybody else. But But the main thing is you've got to have a group coming in regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking, I think what everybody needs to, I think we need to change our terminology to where everybody understands this a little bit better.
Okay.
You're not earning ROC points when you play in ROC Adventure. You're earning WKO points.
Oh.
That's the way that we should approach this. So WKO points, those qualify you towards nationals and towards worlds.
Yeah.
And if you don't have enough this year, you can save them for a year from now. The point is every time that you're playing, what I want to do is every time that you're playing sanctioned play, that I want you to be earning points.
Sure. Yeah.
That may hopefully down the line that we're not just talking about WKOs and not talking about ROC, that maybe we're talking about people just sitting and playing in an op. Maybe it's not that many points, but every time you sit down and play, you should be earning something. And that's what I'm trying to drive towards.
Yeah. So and these points, right? Right. So maybe they're fewer points for the organized play events, but you're banking them, and they're stable points. These stay with you over time, through the months, through the years. Even if you don't make it to the nationals or the worlds this year, these points carry over into the next year until you're ready or have enough points to go to these convention events, these big premier tournaments, and participate.
Correct. Sometimes it's some players, maybe that it takes them longer to get the number of points that they need because maybe they're not as good, or maybe they're learning or whatever, but over a period of time they develop points. Or maybe it's somebody that financially can't just go every year.
Sure.
Or life sometimes it gets in our way, be it work or life events.
Mm-hmm.
This way, that you can go. I mean, honestly, I know HeroClix players that talk about going to Worlds and going to Nationals, and it's like Disneyland to them.
Yeah.
Okay. And they can't go because they can't qualify. Where we're giving that guy that grinds in and plays every week points to where he can go and he can participate and know that he can play in Nationals and play in a world level event.
Absolutely, yeah, those week-to-week players, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great expansion of that reward system. Now with WizKids and ROC coming together, how are we going to see maybe the difference in rulings or ban lists or like available characters? How's that maybe going to become more unified or streamlined?
Yes. The thoughts and the direction that we're going is that ROC Rules and WizKids Rules will be the same.
Okay.
What does that mean? Does that mean that they're going to be adopting our rules, or are we going to be adopting their rules? What that means is that it's going to be a give and take. There's some things that we adamantly believe in that they agree with us on.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other things that they're like, no, we don't want to do that. Those things may be dropped. Mm-hmm. And there may be some things that when we start talking that we're like, hey, well, why don't we just change this all together? And it may not even be a ROC rule. It may not even be a WizKids rule. It may be something entirely different that we play. But the idea is that I would like to see if for example, I mean, some major differences. We require maps.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly that that's going to be part of your team build in both WizKids events, and also they've already been doing it some.
Yeah. Now ROC maps are becoming WizKids legal in the new year.
Yes.
Now the special orange text rules for ROC maps that are legal at ROC events, are those going to be carried over into WizKids events as well?
Yeah. If it's a ROC map, we don't have very many with orange rules. There are a few. But if that map was deemed legal for and added to the WizKids legal map play, then yeah, the orange text would be legal.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, so a lot of those effects are really unique and add competitive edge and a sort of dynamic nature to the game. So it's really good to hear. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
On the maps, I want to tell you guys that I'm not a proponent. A lot of our maps, a lot of WizKids maps too, they are set up. I don't want to say they're unbalanced, but sometimes if you play a certain team, it gives you an advantage. I like that. I think that its maps should be a part of all that.
Okay, we got some questions here actually from
Sure.
viewers. So first starting, how will ROC tournaments be purchased now? And for those who are certified judges, will there be additional steps to maintain that?
The first part is the same as we've been doing. That you still will, presently, you will still buy ROC kits at the ROC website.
Okay.
And the second part, to maintaining,
any changes to being a certified ROC judge?
only that you have to pass a background check.
And that's the standard practice I know with Wizards of the Coast.
Right,
Yeah,
and
adopting that.
And I got asked this question at the dinner: is who would pay for that? I will answer it that I will. I will pay for the background check.
Wow. All right, excellent. Next question. So if I have, I'm guessing they're talking about points. If I have 20 now, will it still be 20 later, or does it change? How long are the points good for?
The point under our current system, the points are good forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you that we're not going to get blown up by a missile or something, but
Sure.
But we are. The points are good forever.
As long as these organizations stand, the points are good.
Yes.
And when you use 100 points to get into nationals, those points, the same 100 points don't disappear to be used at an ROC event and vice versa, or
that's right. All right. So this is the deal. You got 300. You got a maximum of 300 points that you can get. It takes 200 points.
Keep banked in your account.
Right. You can bank no more than 300 points. If you go to nationals and you use 100 points to go to nationals,
WizKids Nationals.
WizKids Nationals. If you go to WizKids Nationals and you use 100 points, they get deducted from your account. Okay. But we will allow you to still use those 100 points to come to the World Qualifier.
Okay.
Okay. So the World Qualifier, we are not going to deduct points to come to the World Qualifier. And since the World Qualifier, as long as you have enough points, it's free. You get to use those points. It's a dual type situation.
The intricacies of tracking that, I'm sure, will be a little bit difficult, but
shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when somebody goes, we have to deduct the points.
Right. Okay. What's going to happen to 300 and 400 ROC limited events?
Good question. Don't know.
All right. Yeah.
One
thing that I do remember you mentioning, like Winamap events and possibly qualifiers, but definitely Winamap events can be whichever format the venue chooses.
Winamaps are wide open. You can do whatever. You can run a sealed. You can do whatever you want. I still think that we'll have a seasonal schedule. That may change later on. And if we ever do some of the things that I think that we're going to do one day, it might become more streamlined.
Okay. One last question. Quick, how do we do the background check? I'm guessing we'll just talk to you about that, or you'll reach out to the judges that are currently certified, and new judges will have to go through that process. The top 32 round one is about to start, so we have to unfortunately cut this interview a little bit short. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
All right.
Howard, this has been wonderful. Thanks for putting this event on. It's been great. We look forward to continuing coverage.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah, we get the top 32 bracket. Yeah, from here, from this moment forward, it's going to grow and develop in really great ways. So we're really looking forward to it.
The store will look prettier next year, too.
All right, man. Yeah, thanks very much.
No problem.
Yeah.